Hey guys, Jamie here with Journey North. I've been working in the shop a little bit, and I have full intentions of coming in here and making a video. And an hour, 2 hours will pass, and I'll find myself fiddling with something I just got or working on something and not filming. That's got to change. I want to get some content out. I just get lost in these tools. For instance, today I've been picking up a few of these folding rulers. I've spread them out. Took a tape measure. I wanted to see if they were still accurate, and they are, very. We're going to get into that another time, though. Because I found myself with this little Boilermakers scaling hammer. Basically a chipping hammer. What you'd use when you're welding, chipping off slag, that's what these were for. One end horizontal, one vertical, so you didn't have to switch your hands around. This happens to be Plumb, stamped right here. If you're not sure if it's a Plumb, Perma-Bond. Let me tell you about Perma-Bond. It's a red epoxy they started using in their handles. Used it on axes, hammers. Right there. Red epoxy. And it is some tough stuff. And I was just about to start chiseling this one out when I thought I'd tell you guys a little bit about that Perma-Bond, the red epoxy. Plumb used it. I got a lot of different hammers here. But I got quite a few Plumbs. And I have yet to find a handle that has a loose head on it that's a Plumb with the Perma-Bond. Amazing process they used. Not sure on the dates on that. Not me personally, but everyone in general. It was brought up in Popular Mechanics magazine like in 1955, and Plumb started using it right about there, but the patent didn't go through until 1958. Pretty much after 1958, all handles by Plumb had that Perma-Bond process. And it is, like I said, super tough stuff. Prior to that, they were using what was called a wedge screw. And here's a Plumb. You can tell Plumbs, because sometime after 1922, they started putting a red pigment in their handles. So you could tell that they were, that's kind of their trademark. Plumb red handle with a black head on it. Let's see if I got some other Plumbs here for you. That little rivet jeweler's hammer, you ain't going to be able to see that stamp because it's super light, but this is a Plumb, an old one. And even their fiberglass. Now, these fiberglass handles, they started popping them out like in 1958. One of the first ones with a successful fiberglass handle. And they put some artwork on there. This one came from Mikey Yo-Yo, all the way from Scotland for my collection. And I use this. This is for fiberglass, this thing is comfortable. They went away from that design, went to more of the rubber handle design, probably in the 70s. Started putting warning, be safe, wear safety glasses, cushion grip. Quality went down a little bit on them, but they're still good. Use Perma-Bond on them as well. Before Perma-Bond, they use what's called a wedge screw. And them did come loose. This one here has a wedge screw in it, and it's loose. I haven't done anything to it because it's got the original wedge screw. It's got the Plumb red handle on it. It's beat up, got some marks on it. Hasn't been used a lot though. Still has the original black paint. But let's take a look at that wedge screw before I get into that epoxy. Normal screw, slotted. Let's find a somewhat interesting screwdriver for you, being we're doing this little video. It's not cleaned up yet. Picked it up in the 75-cent screwdriver bin. Pawn shops, thrift shops, they usually have something like that. And I go through them. This one here happened to be in there. This is what's known as a perfect handle. Very sought after. Go up to 20 bucks in this condition. 75 cent. Be on the lookout for them. I'll get a whole video out on this as well. But I do use that screw like a screw. I'll see if I can take this sucker out for you and show you how it works. Came out nicely for as old as it is. Like I said, probably pre-1950s, I'm guessing. And there it is. Wedge screw. Just a tapered screw, threaded. That handle's still on there, but it's still loose. Got a hole drilled in it, and they just threaded this in. Let's put it back in and tighten it up and see if it tightens the head up, and it should. Pretty fine threads. They hold really nice in this hickory. Starting to get tight. It just keeps digging down as deep as you want to put it. There it's flush. Sucker's tight again. Man, Plumb was smart. Like I said, I don't find these with screwdrivers broken off in them, drill bits, old saw teeth. What else have I found inside them? Nails, screws, obviously. Pretty much anything hard that somebody could drive in there to tighten up a head, I found it. Got a little bin of them here. The one that works the best is flat screwdrivers broke off. They seem to hold really nice with that wedge shape. Old crosscut saw teeth, them do the trick. Nail screws, they're always in there. Drill bits once in a while, but buy a wedge, rehandle it right if you do it. Stop putting nails in them, people. But that was tightened up. That simple screw wedge. All right, let's get away from that. Before I get away from that plum red color that they use, they were the only ones at that time to pretty much have a colored handle. Everyone else would come up with a plain hickory handle usually. And Plumb was so well known for that even some other major manufacturers started kind of ripping them off. This is a slightly different shade. This is a Stanley. I don't know if you can tell that or not. I mean, I can tell the difference in it, but this has got a little more brown to it. But somebody sees it instantly, thinks, oh, Plumb, they were good tools. Even though Stanley made good tools as well, they probably thought they could make a little bit more money off that, and they did. Fiberglass, Perma-Bond, wood, got that screw wedge. Perma-Bond, they use that in their axes as well. This is a Plumb, probably with no name on this, probably had a paper label on it, which some of the companies would have like second quality, third quality. Not quite where they wanted to put their name on it, but they could sell it to a hardware store such as Shapley's, E.C. Simmons Keen Cutter, any smaller Sears Craftsman, they did that as well. But I looked for a name, no name on it, but Perma-Bond. The handle's cut off or broke off in there. But you know what? This is going to take me forever to get out of there just because it held so damn good. But I'm going to put this little Boilermaker's scaling hammer in the vise and take an old chisel. I got a lot of chisels, but I usually find one that's beyond repair. This is one here's my new favorite. Missing an end cap. Nice long 1/2-inch chisel. Very high quality. It's a Greenlee. Got patent date, everything on it. Made great tools, but just beyond salvageable for me. So I'm going to use it to pound in there, chip this sucker out. If I dig the metal or something, it's no big deal. See if I can get a little footage of that. If you come across one where you get that Perma-Bond out, this is a real good process to do. Let's see if we can get it cleaned up. As you can see, I just started in there when I thought, let's make a video about this. I just locked these in a vise. This is a Boilermaker's hammer, so it's got mold marks on it. They're beat up hammers. They're meant to get slag and stuff like that on them. Not the prettiest of hammers, but I don't have one in my collection, so I'm going to add this one to it. And God, I really like using the right hammer for the purpose. But let's work on a Plumb with a Plumb, just for the hell of it, shall we? And get in there and tap that in. Don't be too aggressive. This stuff comes out flying. You should probably have on some safety glasses. Get in there's a hair more. So it's starting to move. And then if we can pry it out. Oh, I didn't want to go. It's flexing but not moving. Like I said, Perma-Bond, good stuff. Just it doesn't want to come out of there. So just like you would, take a smaller bite and see if you can break it up. a nice piece of it out of that one. There. Once you start splaying it out and break it up, you should be able to hammer it back down that way. And that's the way it's wanting to go. I'm going to turn my chisel the opposite way so it's not cutting in as much. And we're tight again. Alright, let's flip this over. There, you can see it's coming out now. That Perma-Bond just soaks right into the hickory, stabilizes it. There's still some in there. We'll keep cleaning it up. I don't want to do this with my hand. I don't want to poke through and bleed all over everything. Don't be in a hurry when you're doing this type of stuff. Don't be in a hurry at all when you're restoring old tools or fixing them up. Enjoy it. Perma just formed right in there, right to the exact size it needs to be. Doesn't want to move. I got it loose, but it just doesn't want to come out. It's like I don't know if you ever pulled your own tooth. You get to the point where you know it's going to come out, you just don't know how much it's going to hurt. Oh, here we go. And once it comes out, it leaves a nice clean area because it peels kind of something. You know, it doesn't get that rusted stuff in there. It just peels right out. Let's flip around and I'll show you. Came right out of there. See if I can hit this stamp with a wire brush or there's a little piece of steel wool. See if I can get it so you can see it. It's stamped on the top, which was rare for Plumb. Plumb's usually almost always on the side. This one just happened to be on the top. There you go. Boilermaker's scaling hammer. Just think of it as a slag hammer for welding. Basically the same thing. You just wouldn't have to turn it because it had horizontal, what the hell kind of word is that? Horizontal and vertical. And it fits on a, let me see if I got a handle laying around here. Fits on a regular claw hammer. Square. It's got to be shaved down, obviously, but you've seen me put these on before. I'm going to take care of this and get you a little footage of it when we're done. I don't know if we should do anything special with this. Maybe use some of that, got some of that purple stain that I like using on Plumb. Maybe we'll do that. Let me clean this up and come back. Don't go nowhere. The Boilermaker's scaling hammer. Think of it as a chipping hammer, slag hammer. Getting that crusty metal off. Bet it'd make a little kindling splitter too with that profile, wouldn't it? These here have a slight bevel all on the eye, so that Perma-Bond could kind of just sit right in there. So you're not, that's not a very deep crack all the way around. Maybe a 30-second, but you're not gonna. You could fill it with some sawdust, but it looks like shit. Put a metal step wedge in. I don't have any of the round screw wedges. And for my wood wedge, I use this rare wood that I have that's called pallet wood. And it was a 4x4 that was in the pallet. It's got a real, I don't know where the heck I put it. It's got a real dark hue to it. Let me see if I can find a chunk of it here for you. Right here. It doesn't have much smell to it. Fairly soft, which when you're using a wedge, you want to use something either soft Poplar is what manufacturers use, or something really hard. You want it to either compress or you want it to stay harder than the hickory. So the hickory compresses. Hickory on hickory, neither one will really compress. That's the thought process behind that. Yeah, chunk of pallet wood, cut it, chip it off, put it on the sander, get it to the desired thickness, drove it home. Put a little of the black cherry stain on there, a little homage to the plum red that they used. This handle was a very super light handle, and it came out really light. Just got that real light purplish hue to it. And I did put a coat of oil on there. I'm going to put 2 more coats of oil on there. And I finish everything off with a little paste wax, especially on the metal. That'll keep it from that surface rust getting on it. A little paste wax makes it feel just super nice. It's got a great smell to it. Not that that matters. Hickory, metal, stain, had all great smells as well. Scaling hammer. I ain't going to come across a lot of them. As you can see, they're not cleaned up very nice because they were meant just to be hammered on metal, get weld marks on them. If you've ever been around enough welders, you'll know that you'll have hammers welded to tables and all other shenanigans. Scaling hammer by Plumb. Hope you learned a little bit about the wedging system and the handle system. I find it interesting. You might not. You might. Don't really care. I do. All right, guys. Hope you had a great weekend. We'll catch you on the next one. Take her easy.